Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Shapeshifting Detective, grabbing the Look Mum, I'm a Detective achievement. This is going to be to guess the murder correctly at the end of the game. Now, believe it or not, you can actually guess who the killer is going to be right at the start of the game. So once you get control of your character after getting to the house and being introduced to Violet and Bronwyn, you are supposed to take the cab over to the police station and talk to the chief. Make sure you exhaust every single dialogue choice once you are here. So just keep mashing the A button until the only two choices left are what do we know and leave. Make sure you leave, and that should put you back in the cab. Take the cab back to the guest house. Then you should have unlocked the power of shapeshifting. But before we go into our room and start shapeshifting, what you want to do is you want to make sure you head over to Violet and then make sure you ask her, what were you doing last night? After a little talking, you can further question her if she's ever been to Dorota's house. In a situation where she is not the killer, she is going to answer with the fact that she's driven by it, but she has never actually been inside, and that should sound a little something like this.
I've driven by it, never actually been in it.
If she is the murderer, she should respond with this instead.
No, and I didn't murder her, if that's what you're asking.
So, if she is the murderer, you now have your answer. If she's not, it's time to test the second option, which is going to be Rain. Now, to figure out if Rain is the murderer or not, what you have to do is you have to be able to shift into Lexi. So, if you haven't already, make sure you visit her in her room. Once you are here, you can either go through all the conversation if you really want to. However, if you just need the ability to shift into her, you could just enter and then leave right away. Whatever the case, once you have met her for the first time, head up to your room and then make sure you shift on over to her. Once you make the shift, make sure you just back out into the hallway and then go to Rain's room. As soon as you enter, he's going to tell you something is weird. Press A and then get to the part where you get a choice. If you see two choices here, which should be how are you and leave, that is going to mean he is not the murderer. If he is the murderer, there's only going to be one choice, which is to leave. Then just play through the rest of the game until you have reached the part where you need to choose the murderer. Obviously, if you get either one of those conditions where one of these people were the murderer, you want to make sure you choose them. Either
No, and I didn't murder her, if that's what you're asking.
Something's weird, isn't it?
and if neither of them are the killer in your playthrough, the killer is always going to be Zach. So make sure you pick him, and then you should get your achievement at the end of the game.
Hello, sleepyhead.
90 gamer score for guessing correctly, and that's all there is to it.